Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm gonna be giving you part 4 of What If Naruto Was Neglected with Shibai Otsutsuki Karma Seal. Remember to get this one too. 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also, guys, don't forget to obliterate that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. And also, guys, if you're new, yes, I indeed have 4 more channels: Anime King 2, Anime King 3, Anime Symbol, Anime Prince. All the links will be down in the description, so go ahead and smash that red subscribe button, guys, and join the family. So without further ado, or wasting any more time, what do you say we jump right into this brand new episode? Begin the intro. So the last part that we left off, Sasuke, Mito, and Kiba was placed on Team 7, with their Jonin sensei being Kakashi Hatake. Team 8 was Hinata, Shino, and a boy known as Muzan. Their sensei would be Kurenagiwai. Team 9 was still in circulation. Team 10 was the Inoshikacho. Team 12 was Menma, Sakura, and a girl known as Ami Uzuki. Mito and Menma discuss the possible threats out there. Their parents had been fully blunt with them for them to understand how everything was set, and not to mention their own family that was seeking their death, which was Naruto. So they had to be fully prepared to be able to protect and take care of themselves. So they knew the dangers that was facing the both of them and what they had to look forward to and protect themselves against. Kushina and Mikoto were also discussing that as well. Mikoto was worried because her youngest son Sasuke was really close friends with the twins, and she had no doubt that he would stand by their side to fight. This Naruto character must have gotten stronger in some way. He would get stronger and come after them, knowing that he didn't stand a chance. That would be a problem because that would be a stupid move to make. As for Minato, he knew that what Naruto lacked in physical power, he made up for it in smarts. Yes, the boy was quite intelligent. We then skip to Naruto as something happened. When Naruto opened that coffin, the person that came out of it, there was a collision of their mind. A newly awoken ability of his that he did not know how to control as he read her mind. The both of them separated as Naruto learned a lot. She also saw his life as well. Her name was Hikari. The Uchiha clan called her Nadashi though. It turns out that she was a part of the Uchiha clan. However, her eyes were special. They even implanted other dojutsus of the Sharingan in her eyes to give her the other abilities of the Mangekyou. It was a shocking revelation. They took away her name, they stripped it away from her. The only reason why Naruto knew was because his ability allowed him to see through her eyes beyond her understanding of the world. So he saw her parents' name in her. Something that she did not know about. Her name was Nadashi. Surprisingly enough, she was not afraid. Maybe it was because she saw his life and she saw what he has been through. It took her a while to speak though, but she had to ask him how. How was he able to go on after everything that he has been put through? Unlike most, she saw every detail of his life. She saw what he was put through at home and worse in prison. So she could not understand how he could be this normal. His personality made absolutely no sense to her. He's supposed to be violent, angry, upset at the world. Naruto told her that he was. Oh, he was, however. There were certain things that held him back from going fully insane in this world. Things that he had to do, things that must be accomplished. As the time passed, she slowly started to open up more to him. When he told her real name, she looked at him with her Sharingan, as she could see that he was not lying to her. In fact, from the moment she first met him, he has not ever lied to her, and he promised that he would not. Naruto felt a kindred spirit with this girl. Maybe it was because she was betrayed and used, and then discarded when she served no longer any purpose. That must be the case. She, on the other hand, was rather shocked, as she was able to see his thoughts in the moment that she was going through his mind. He believed that a god had descended these powers upon him, but given the way he got them, that wasn't so far-fetched at all, and not to mention the things that he could do. She's been around for a long time, and she's seen many powerful people rise and fall, and his power, the way it was growing, it was extraordinary. A few weeks went by, as she was fully recovered by then. Both her and Naruto found a bandit camp. There was a few girls missing from the nearby village. This was a way that Naruto found to be good to release stress. She hunted every one of the bandits down to extinction, until the last one remained. They forced him to give up the name of his supplier. The man was known as Gatu at the Land of Wave. That was his last location. She did not hesitate to remove the man's head afterwards, as both her and Naruto proceeded to make their way. We then skipped towards Menma, as him and his team were finally going towards a higher rank mission. Yes, they were finally getting a higher rank mission, something they've been looking forward to. However, their mission turned out to be more than they bargained for, as they faced the Demon Brothers. However, they still decide to go ahead with said mission, but Yamato sent backup at Konoha. Yes, he sent for backup. Sometime later, Minato had sent them Team Guy to aid them in their backup requests. Yamato faced off against Zabuza. Zabuza Mamakaya, known A-rank missing ninja, and Zabuza was forced to flee. His subordinate took him, knowing that if he kept on fighting, he would die. They returned back to the house. Yamato recuperated faster than most, as they spent the remaining week training and getting to know the members of Team 9 as well, because they arrived in between the week. So with that, they had a greater force to face Gatu and Zabuza if they show up, as they spend the remaining time training and preparing. Yes, Menma was looking forward to testing his new strength as well. Unfortunately though, Naruto and Hikari arrived at the wrong moment. They arrived when the bridge was just going to be attacked, as Naruto gazed down with his Byakugan, gazing down towards Gatu and his man, and he came across his own brother. So yeah guys, basically let's play off. You guys can switch across the play check of yourself, and don't forget to go ahead and obliterate that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. So without further ado or wasting any more time, what do you say we jump right into this? Begin now guys. We begin this episode with Gatu, as he and his boys were about to leave out. The boats were ready, and they were prepared. They were making their way towards the boats, so they could move towards the location of the bridge. He was truly disappointed with the amount of money that Zabuza required for this job, and yet he was defeated, saying that it was a fluke. Next time he won't fail. Gatu did not care though, because it was simple. He will use Zabuza to weaken his opponents and internally weaken Zabuza as well, because he will be fighting. He would then send his boys here to annihilate all of them, and finally take full conquest over the Land of Wave. He will obliterate the bridge in the process as well, to show them that there is no hope. They can't defy or escape away from him. He thought with a smile on his face as he stepped towards a boat. It happened in a flash. Gatu was launched. All of his men, some of them that already got on the boat, was vaporized in an instant. A violent light had rained down from the heaven. It was a lightning strike, obliterating countless of the boats and eviscerating countless of his men. Gato was trembling, dirt and grime surrounding his body as he hit the ground rather hard, using his cane to pick himself up as he glanced around. He then snapped his gaze up as he saw what appeared to be a figure standing in the sky gazing down towards him. He was confused and also scared as well. He started slowly back away until he heard something behind him as he turned. Whatever it was clouded in darkness, using his shadow to get around. Gato could not see a damn thing because of all the smoke and the dust from the collision. He looked around as he heard something hitting the ground, one after another, as he tried to find the source. Gato ran as fast as he could, which wasn't fast enough. He ran to try to get to an open area where there would be no obstructions in his path of view, so that he could see what the hell was going on. As he glanced behind him, hearing his man dying scream, he hit something, what seemed to be a steel wall. When Gato turned, rubbing his face, there was a person standing there. How does it feel? He heard as the person stepped towards him. To feel defenseless, to feel helpless, to know that you can't do anything against who is coming for you. That is how they felt. The countless people that you send your man to kidnap, to use and then sell like they were pawns, like they were toys. What gives you the right? Naruto stepped and gripped him by the shirt and lifted him off the ground. Please, don't do this. I have money. I'll pay you anything that you desire. I'll make you rich beyond your wildest dreams. Just please, don't kill me. Naruto smiled. Now you understand. Now it is sinking in. The fear. Gato felt a breeze before. He felt coursing pain. Looking toward his right arm, there was no longer a right arm. Naruto dropped him towards the ground as Gato screamed, holding on to his stump. Death would be a mercy for someone like you. You deserve to suffer. As Naruto's hand was coated with wind shocker, he brought it down twice. Gato screamed out for bloody murder as Naruto took off both of his legs. He couldn't crawl anymore as he screamed, the blood making him delirious. Naruto then brought his foot up before he stomped and shattered his spine. Gato screamed out loud once again. His blurry vision saw someone exiting through the smoke. As she stepped in front of him, the first thing he saw was her eyes. Her black and red eyes, gazing down towards him like death itself. Gato knew that it was his time. He wished that it would be over quickly. The pain was too much, agonizing, torturous. He couldn't take it anymore. Naruto was about to finish him until he picked up on something. Naruto snapped his eyes towards the left, gazing out, his eyes focusing, triangulating and pinpointing. He couldn't believe it. Of all places. Before Hikiri could ask him what was going on, he turned towards her. Free the prisoners, he said. She couldn't get to say anything as he took off. Gato, who was dying on the ground, saw her raise her blade that was coated in blood before she plunged it into his skull, ending his life. She watches Naruto blast through the sky, having no idea what was going on. However, she did what he said as she made her way to free the prisoners. As for the bridge, at the moment, Zabuza found himself overwhelmed. Not only was Yamato here, But there was also the green beast of Konoha, Might Guy. Zabuza knew by all accounts that he was going to lose. However, his pride, it wouldn't allow him to run. Zabuza was known to never run from a mission. Despite how bloody it might get, he was always sticking it in. But now, things were against him, really bad. But he was not the only one. Tenten was standing in front of the client. So was Sakura as well, as the both of them were guarding him. However, Haku found himself outpaced by the four ninjas. Neji, Gentle Fist, was able to shatter the mirror because he focused on the chakra density and the chakra fluctuation and hit it at the right point. This was bad for them. Really bad until something came from the heavens. Guy felt it as he glanced up. He shouted at them to jump. Boom! Everyone was shocked. The entire bridge was obliterated by a massive blast. Zabuza found himself falling into the water until a mirror appeared underneath him as he fell right through it. As he fell on dry land, the client was grabbed by Tenten as Sakura jumped off. As the bridge came down, the massive bridge was turned into splinters. The two Jonins flicked away as they separated. All of them were shocked. Tazuna couldn't believe it as he collapsed down to his knees. The entire bridge was destroyed. Menma was frozen in shock. What the hell did that? Who possessed enough power to completely wipe away the entire bridge? He was frightened by that. Menma didn't know why, but his heartbeat started to skyrocket as he started to feel a sense of fear. It happened so fast. Guy appeared and slammed his leg forward. The collision sent Menma sailing away. Menma didn't even know what happened. Neji eyes was able to see it, but it was just so fast. Guy was thrown back as the other person was thrown back as well. The both of them skidded on their feet. The Konoha ninjas included Zabuza and Haku watched as the person got to his feet, his long white hair whipping in the wind. Immediately, wooden vines exploded out of the earth and wrapped around him tightly. However, he did not show any fuss about escaping. I'm guessing that he's one of yours. It was the voice of Yamato that looked over towards Zabuza. I don't know who the hell this is, Zabuza said, looking towards a person with such destructive power to bring down the entire bridge in one blast. His eyes though. Haku saw his eyes, and they scared him. He looked past them, like they did not even exist, as he focused on Menma. Menma felt agitated. His hands were trembling. Who the hell are you? He yelled. I guess you wouldn't remember me. After all, you were just a baby the last time I tried to end your life. All of them were startled by that. Menma was shocked. Naruto? Ami's eyes widened. Sakura was confused. Who's Naruto? She said. He's my brother, said Menma. Lee stepped forward. Why would a sibling be so unyouthful as to try and end another sibling's life? I do not understand. He's no normal sibling. He's a monster, Menma said. He tried to kill me and Mito when we were just kids. And now you're back. You're different. Yes, I am. Figures that. I would crush your head right there and then, but he's fast. Might Guy, I presume. So you know of me, said Guy. Yes, of course. I've been doing my research. You, on the other hand, I'm not quite sure who you are. But you do possess the Mokiton. Interesting. As a Jonin of the Hidden Leaf, I place you under arrest, Naruto Namikaze. Namikaze? Yeah, I guess that would mean that he is the fourth Hokage's son as well. as all of them were thinking the same thing. Place me under arrest, Naruto said with a chuckle. Well then, let's see you do it. The board started to creak. Yamato dropped to one knee as he started to sweat. This is impossible, he said, gritting his teeth. He's breaking. Boom! Naruto shot forward, breaking the ground. Menma, eyes widened as Guy grabbed the back of his shirt and launched him backwards as Naruto gripped the ear, where his throat was. Naruto snapped his gaze towards him. I've had enough of you intervening. He held his hand out. Guy raised his hand until... Boom! A force ruptured into Guy's sternum. The man was blasted. Lee came. Leaf whirlwind, he said. However, when his leg slammed into Naruto's hand, Naruto barely moved. Naruto grabbed Lee's leg and twirled him before, driving him into the earth. The earth exploded as Naruto lifted Lee. He was about to kick his face clean in until Neji arrived, outstretching his arms as he started through the Jayugen. However, Naruto evaded all of his strikes. To his shock, when Neji saw his eyes, the creases, but the veins were not there. But that's not possible. Bam! Naruto drove his fist into Neji's face, launching the boy to God knows where as he crashed into a tree and beyond. Naruto flipped over all the wooden spikes that came from the earth as he twirled before. He held his hand out, pure raw earth manipulation as he drove it into the earth. The entire place uprooted violently. Trees were sent. Menma was blasted as Naruto hovered in the air before shooting off with wind manipulation. His hand extended with wind, ready to slice through Menma. However, Guy came tearing through the foliage as he opened the gates. Guy's shoulder slammed right into Naruto. However, Naruto gripped his arm around Guy, causing the both of them to spin. They tore into the earth and bounced across it as Naruto kicked him off him. Guy flipped as they engaged in pure, raw taijutsu. Guy was baffled. He was shocked by the strength that Naruto was displaying. Just raw strength as their fists collide against one another, creating booming shockwaves. Naruto thrust his arm forward as Guy moved back. Vines wrapped around Naruto's wrist and pulled it down, pulling down his other hand as well. Guy then turned. Sekureku, he yelled, as he threw the punch with friction that caused it to ignite. All of them slammed into Naruto with terrible force. His body was blasted and crashed through the earth as it broke off and fell right into the deep, big ocean, the current pulling him down. Guy stood there as he looked down his white eyes, surveying the area. His body was pulsating. Yamato rushed to his side. Menma found himself trembling in fear. He was no match for Naruto. If it wasn't for Guy, he would be dead twice now. However, it seemed to be over. That is when the place started to tremble. Both Haku and Zabuza had taken a clear distance away. This was much more than they bargained for. Not to mention they would have lost earlier, so this was best if they left. The place was trembling and shaking apart. Tazuna was grabbed by Sakura to get away after Yamato ordered her to do so. Neji got up, holding on to his red swollen face. He was in pain. Tenten pulled out 2 scrolls, ready for backup. Guy was still steaming with the gates when suddenly all hell broke loose. The water twisted and turned into something vile. A sea dragon, a serpent, that stood at a massive, insane height, dwarfing them like they were ants. The violent, predatory scream resonated from Naruto as he called, the beast forward to charge. Yamato swelled his coils and pushed them to the absolute limit. He slammed his hand together. A violent wooden eruption rose. Yamato dropped to his knees as he struggled. Boom! The collision slam right on the wooden platform. It started to crack as water started to spew. Yamato was sweating and trembling as he tried to hold it back. Guy proceeded to leap above it. Now in mid-air, he used the friction to push himself forward as he saw Naruto on top of the beast. Guy started to generate the force as he brought his hand together, using the force as he sent it forward like a raging tiger. It shot forward as a beast teared through the sky, rushing towards Naruto. However, a second mouth formed on the dragon as the serpent rose up and devoured the technique. Guy was baffled. It shot towards him and crashed into him. Blood exploded out of his mouth. Guy Sensei, Lee shouted as he was sent into the forest in a massive crater. Lee, Neji shouted, Sensei will be fine. Focus! It's gonna break through. The moment he said that, Yamato lost it. The serpent ruptured through and tore through the massive barricade, ripping through it and swallowed them all. A distance away. What's that? Tazuna said as he stopped. Sakura's eyes went wide as they were all swallowed in the attack. The entire landform was trampled by the force. It broke down, it was destroyed. All the trees, Guy was swallowed into it as well. Meanwhile, situated on the other island with the prisoners, she had no leverage to get over there. She was stuck here, the boats had been destroyed. She could not fly like Naruto. As she felt his rage, she felt his power. She had no idea who was over there, but it was someone that he despised. Back on the mainland, as Naruto landed after committing chaos, that is when he saw a little huddle. Yamato had used earth manipulation to sink the ground before, covering them. When it came off, Yamato was exhausted. Using up so much of his chakra, he was exhausted. Yes, he was. But the moment it was open, Tenten released a barrage of weapons upon Naruto as she leaped into the sky. Twin swirling dragon. She opened both of the scroll and let them rain. Naruto looked up towards the chaos. He was about to send them all sailing, but he felt this power that didn't just push but control. Everything froze just for a moment before they all collapsed down. Tenten landed with a shocked look on her face. That was her mistake for taking her eyes off Naruto for 1 second. Naruto appeared in front of her and sunk the back of his hand into her face. Blood sprayed out of her mouth as she bounced across the ground. Tenten! Lee shouted. Realizing that this was no playing matters, he threw off his weight and rushed towards Naruto head first. However, Naruto vanished and reappeared behind him, stopping him in his tracks. He proceeded to smash his fist into Lee's spine. Lee cried out as Naruto grabbed him by the face. He was about to snap his neck. Leave him alone! It was Menma that came running down towards them. In his hand was a ball of energy, swirling and twisting. As Naruto saw the technique, he knew exactly what it was. Naruto smiled as Menma rushed towards him. Naruto held his hand up as Menma slammed the technique right into his palm. Rasengan! However, towards Menma's shock, the technique started to be sucked into Naruto's hand. How? Menma couldn't believe it as he was shocked. Naruto smiled towards him. Say goodbye. He reached forward as he gripped Menma by the throat. Menma raised his hand as Naruto snapped it. You'll be seeing your sister, your mother, and your father very soon. Guy came bursting out of the foliage in the 7th gate. However, Naruto placed his hand against Menma's gut, and raw lightning ripped through his gut and teared through his back. Menma's eyes went wide. He spat out blood. Naruto had to block Guy's attack that trembled his bones. As the both of them engaged, Menma was on the ground as Ami rushed towards him. As she came out of the little huddle that the exhausted Yamato had built. "Menma, no," she said, trying to patch his wounds. However, the hole was so humongous in his stomach as Menma was violently coughing up blood. Inside of the mindscape, Menma found himself lying in water when he heard a voice. "You can't beat him as you are. All you need to do is to ask, and I will gift you with my power. With that, you can rip him apart before he does the same to you. Is that what you desire?" Menma was lying on the ground, feeling himself fade away. "Do it. Give it to me," he said. "Give me your power." Meanwhile, Guy and Naruto were trading blows. The both of them fighting was bringing chaos towards land as they were shredding each other with massive amount of force. The sky started to darken. The heavens started to quake. The place started to rumble because Naruto was drawing upon so much of his power. Naruto held his hand out and sent Guy through the earth. Guy came right back at him and swung. However, it was a distraction before he buried his right leg across Naruto's face. Guy wasted no time as he dived down and delivered several brutal attacks. Guy did not stop as he dropped both of his hands into Naruto's temple. As Naruto's body was launching towards the ground, his eyes were shut. Guy brought his fist back until Naruto opened his eyes. "Enough!" he roared out. Thunder and lightning flashed. Lightning came ripping from the heavens. Guy's eyes widened as he turned and leaped towards the wall. The lightning strike obliterated the place. A violent tornado appeared out of nowhere and yanked Guy towards it. He tried his best to outpace it, but lightning then slammed into him, causing him to scream. And another, and another. "Sensei!" Lee was screaming out as he watched his sensei hit at least 4 times. Naruto then rushed in and slammed his fist across Guy's face, shattering his nose, before he held his hand out and pressed both of his palms on Guy's chest, releasing a huge amount of wind chakra and lightning chakra as well. Guy screamed as his body was shocked and also whipped by the powerful force. Guy crashed into the earth with tremendous force, and he wasn't moving. Naruto was hyperventilated, however not in his right state of mind. He was warned to not let the power control him, but at the moment, Naruto was pissed. As he was drawing upon too much of the power, he was getting too angry. Memories were coming back, violent memories that twist his guts. That is when he felt it. However, his vision was so blurry because his mind was not focused. Menma was covered by a red cloak. She was forced to jump away. As she watches his wounds close up, she jumped towards Tenten's side. Neji was startled by the vast amount of power that was now coming from Menma. Menma looked up with a growl. However, Naruto held his hand up to the sky. As the storm started to twist and turn towards his whim, Naruto felt the power generating as it started to compress and compress and compress into a tiny ball. The tiny ball started to bring forward deadly winds and chaos. Thunder and lightning started raining. It was catastrophic. The earth, the sky, The very air itself started to tremble with an unknown force. "You should have stayed dead. Now, I'll just wipe you all away," said Naruto, as he held both of his hands up to grip the ball of death. Menma was growling at the ball. That is when the weak Yamato noticed something on the ground that Menma had dropped from his pouch. As Naruto threw the ball, it came down with a catastrophic boom. However, something happened. Something happened the split second that Naruto threw it. A violent explosion went off in the far distance. Naruto started to slowly calm down, realizing that he was going to lose himself if he kept on going at this rate. He was not strong enough to handle all of them, especially the Jonin by himself, mostly Guy, without losing himself. Yes, he had won, but at the cost of almost going beyond and losing himself. He could feel himself slipping. The god that bestowed this power upon him was right. He had to take control of it and don't let it take control of him. As Naruto calmed down, he started to see what sent this technique away. Yamato had moved fast. Yamato had saw it on the ground. The 3-pronged kunai that Minato had gave his son. Menma was now unconscious with a strange paper right across his face. Minato's gaze was focusing towards the boy, hovering in mid-air. As he looked upon him, Minato couldn't believe it. He didn't know how he knew, but he knew. "Naruto?" he said. Naruto realized if he went any further, he would go beyond his limit. This was the most he could muster up right now. He still didn't have full access of this power. He could go more, but if he did, he will lose himself. And that is not what he wanted. Naruto gazed at his father for the first time in a very, very long while. Minato was about to say something else until Naruto shoot off in a sonic wave, blowing them all back as he went off. On the island, she was standing there, unable to get to the other side. She didn't want to go around, and he arrived back to see her not there. When she saw him, he landed only for a split second before he wrapped his arm around her and went off with her, leaving all the prisoners there. He just took off with her as they were gone, flying through the heavens as they tore through the sky at a fast pace. Back on the island, Guy was taken by Minato first after he checked over the others. Guy was in a bad condition, a really bad one. He had to take him back first. Yamato was exhausted chakra-wise. His ability had saved a large portion of the island. If he did not water down the technique, the entire island might have been eviscerated. Neji and Lee were bruised up. Tenten didn't seem that bad. She just had a mark across her face. Ami was fine. She felt useless in all of that. Being close to the family, she knew who Naruto was. And she felt so useless against him. She didn't stand a chance. She was also afraid. Terribly so. Sakura and the client was safe. The both of them were soaked and they were found unconscious, but they were alive. However, everyone, this experience was a really, really bad one. Minato could see it in his eyes. Despite his eyes, his face and hair being different, Minato could tell who that was. And the most worst of his fear to ever pass came. His son was now powerful, and that look in his eyes, he only saw them as something that he wanted to annihilate. Time skip. Returning back to the village, Menma was still unconscious. Inside of the mindscape, Kurama was fully awake. The fox was aware that something was terribly wrong. Something was truly terribly wrong. This power that he felt from that boy, that power was so similar to his father, but it was stronger. Not in quantity, but how rich it was. It was stronger, and it was also growing. If it kept on excelling at that rate, it would surpass even his father. He never thought that there was anyone in this world that would ever reach the likes of what his father was. However, that boy, he was not normal. 5 seconds. 5 more seconds and Menma would have been dead. Naruto had used the lightning to shock Menma's heart. Kurama had put a constant flow of his chakra to the boy's heart. If 5 seconds had passed and Menma had still been in that state, he would have been dead. He was the only reason why Menma was still alive. His own brother, that boy, he was going straight for the kill. If he was 5 seconds late, Menma would have been dead. Time skip. They finally arrived towards a suitable location. Arriving there, he was upset. She could feel it. She could see it. He was angry. Really angry. Hikiri looked towards them, as she was not that well known for comforting people. However, he was there for her. She stepped towards him. As she was silent, he turned towards her. Before he could say anything, she wrapped her arms around him, hugging him. He did not move. He did not react. He just stood there as she hugged him. "It's gonna be alright," she said. "You're away from them now. Everything is safe. There is nothing to worry about." Naruto gazed at the empty space behind her as he slowly started to calm down. Seeing that man again brought back so much rage. So much rage. It wanted him to screw the idea of losing control and just go for it. But he knew if he did that, he might win, but his body would no longer be his. Just an empty host, run by power. And he couldn't afford for that to happen. So, he stopped it. Yes, he stopped it. Naruto took several calm breaths as he relaxed himself. He opened his eyes calmly as he wrapped his arms back around her. She felt it. It made her feel safe. Despite knowing that she was the one to comfort him, she just felt safe. "Thank you," he said, as the both of them just stood like that, in quiet. A few minutes later, Naruto told her everything. Now she could see why he was so upset. She was fully with him on his goal to get revenge. After what those people did, they deserved what was coming to them. After all, the only one that she cared about, and she can say that now proudly, was him. There wasn't anyone else in this world that she truly cared for at all. Time skip. At Konoha, she was not pleased. In fact, she was pissed off. However, she was able to calm her temper enough for her daughter, that was saddened by the state that Menma was put in. The fox might have healed him and spared him from death. However, the lightning did bad damage to his body, his insides. He would not be walking away from this completely fine. He had to be put on bed rest for a while. The doctor had told him that with his wounds. After doing his extensive check, 5 seconds later, or maybe 4, if he hadn't been healed, the effects would have ended his life because his body had went into shock. He was a really lucky one. Menma was not happy about that. He hated the fact that he froze up out there, that he caused himself as well. Everything just went so crazy so fast. Yamato was on bed rest and recovering. Guy had been taken to more extensive care. His organs were really messed up. His body was shocked with an incredible amount of lightning. There was a chance that he would not make it. However, Lee, his team, they believe in him. It was Guy Sensei. It took a few hours for them to get back anything. When they came out, they gave them good news. He wouldn't be on his feet for a long while, but he will pull through. That brought them much happiness. They were now away from the area, so they could talk. She was pissed. You see what he did? Now do you see that he's nothing but a monster? He almost took Menma away from us. That doctor said 5 more seconds and Menma would have been dead. You have to do it. You have to give them the order. You have to give them the kill on sight order now. We can't allow him to go around out there knowing that he is targeting our children. What if you weren't able to make it on time? Menma would have been dead. One of the other kids that didn't deserve it would have been dead. One of the Jonins. Give the order, Minato, she said. He's a monster. Nothing more, nothing less. He deserved this. Minato had to give in. He also saw it as well. Naruto was aiming to kill his people. From so much years ago, they had put him away saying that he had mental problems. And now, he's come back, vastly stronger than before, ready to hurt the kids. Minato signed it, kill on sight. And the bingo book was updated as well, with Naruto new descriptions and everything. At the moment, residing in the hospital, Mito was holding her brother's hand. She saw how this truly affected him. It's gonna be alright. It's not. I might recover, but I froze up. I always told myself that I was your older brother, and I'm going to protect you, and yet, when the opportunity presented itself, I froze up like a damn coward. Menma, get a hold of yourself, she said. None of us expected him to be this strong. But now that we know, we can prepare, so that we're ready to face him the next time. We made a promise to each other that we won't allow him to harm either of us. I'll watch your back and you'll watch my back. So don't put yourself out. All we need to do is to prepare. Menma looked at her. As he released a breath, she was right. He thought to himself, he might have froze up this time, but everything was just so intense. Next time though, things will be different. Time skip. A few weeks later, Menma was operational once again. He had recently been operational a few days ago. His body had healed nicely, and he can return back to his training. However, at the moment, this group had been censored to remain in the land of fire. They were targeted. Yes, Naruto was out there, and Naruto was coming after them. So he couldn't afford to extend their mission trip to any other nation where Naruto might come after them. They were both carrying one of the 3 prom kunais. Minato insisted that they got the seal right on their hand. If they were in any trouble, they could also pump chakra to the seal and he would come, in case they lost the weapons. But he did not want to stunt their growth, and they wanted to be ninjas, so they were still partaking in missions within the land of fire with extra precaution. Yamato had recovered nicely, and he was watching his team with an extra eye as well. Guy was still bed rest. He was not fully back on his feet just yet, but he will come back through, even stronger with the power of youth. That is what he kept on telling Lee who had cried at his bedside when he heard that Guy Sensei was injured more than he thought. However, Guy was easily able to cheer up his number one student. So yes, things were looking up despite the fact that they had a huge threat out there. Minato had made the bounty public, so many people were now going after him. Many people. Meanwhile, residing in the hidden rain, she handed the book over to him as he pulled his arms out of the mechanical walker. He gazed over the book. For some time now he's been an unknown, but we now have more information on him. Send Zetsu to Konoha. Tell him to find out everything that he can about this Naruto. The last name was not put in the book for reasons, good reasons, as Minato did not place a Namikaze in there. The leader of the Akatsuki though would like to know everything about this boy. Meanwhile that was going on, a violent, horrendous scream could be heard. A man was on the ground. Black flames were burning every inch of him to death. Standing in front of him was Hikari, as the man burned in the black flames. He was not alone though. Over to the side, his accomplice, neck was being held by Naruto before snapped. For the past couple of weeks, a few people had come across them and decided that they want their bounty. The two had slaughtered all of them in their wake, executing all of them with a vicious mentality. As Naruto and Hikari started to make their way, they were in a forest when these guys decided to attack. The place was littered with bodies. A few were hanging in the tree, a few were all over. That is when Naruto picked up on something. It seems like we have more that has come for their death. Hikari pulled out her blade, her Sharingan returning back to normal. When suddenly, the ninjas jumped down, but these one had a musical note on their headband. Naruto held his hand up. Wait! Don't. We didn't come here to fight. We came here to talk. To talk. Talk about what exactly, said Naruto. We were sent by Kabuto. Naruto blinked. Hikari looked towards him. Who is that, she said. A friend, said Naruto. Where is he? Naruto asked. A large group of us was sent out in order to find you and lead you back to the location. He said, for confirmation to tell you that nothing can stay locked away forever. Everything shall always be freed. It just needs time. That brought a small smile to Naruto's face. Kabuto. That was his name. He was the one that made this all possible. Kabuto was the one that helped him get away. Naruto knew that he wasn't a part of the village. Kabuto had told him that he was actually a spy. He did not tell him who he was working for or what he desired, but Kabuto saw the way he was being treated. He was actually Naruto's first friend. Yes, his first friend. Naruto respected him greatly. Kabuto was the one that told him every information that he needed to know about the ninjas of Konoha, the people. Kabuto gave him freedom, not expecting anything in return, telling him that one day he might gain the power that he needed to exact his revenge on all of them. Kabuto was his best of friend. After all, he had no one, isolated, alone. So yes, Kabuto was his best of friend, who gave him what he always wanted, freedom, and now, look at him. We can trust Kabuto, said Naruto, looking towards Hikari. The memory then clicked in her mind as she started to pinpoint that exact memory. As she started to see it as well, after the name came to her, she saw it. After all, she saw all of Naruto's memories. She saw the white-haired teen, feeling sorry for him and decided to do something to help him out. For no return policy. He just wanted to help, believing that what he was being put through His identity, his very existence being robbed in here, away from the light, was wrong. Kabuto was the one that told him about that darkness thing, about the light. So Naruto was sure that he was the one that sent them. Alright, he said. Lead the way. The Sound Ninjas nodded as they made their way. Time skip. Naruto arrived at a strange place. It was underground. As he finally approached the location. Arriving there, Naruto saw the man that he was looking for. Naruto walked up towards him and hugged Kabuto. Yes, he hugged him. As the both of them pulled back, as Naruto held his hand with a smile on his face. My friend, he said. Kabuto smiled back towards him. I must say, I would have never expected this big of a change, he said. Kabuto didn't have friends in this world. What he had was pawns and partnership. However, Naruto was his friend. There was no doubt about that. Naruto was a friend of his. A few years ago, Kabuto was placed in the village as a spy. He did not desire anything but to make his master plan a reality, the downfall of Konoha. When he heard about the forgotten son of Minato, he thought who else would be a pawn to destroy the man. Who else but his only son? However, he then found out that he was useless. He was nothing. He wasn't special, he was worthless. Kabuto decided to discard the idea, but he found himself becoming a guard for the boy's cell. A prisoner guard. Kabuto started to talk to the boy, and he had to say, he was real. He wasn't like most people in this world. He didn't have an identity. Well, he had one, but they stripped it away. They tried to make him a number. Just something to exist, but the boy focused on what he desired the most. Kabuto lacked that. Kabuto has always been a pawn. But the boy made him feel like he could be something more and something else. That is where their friendship grew. Yes, they became good friends. Kabuto decided to help his friend out. Help his friend escape this prison that has hurt him so much. Help him escape these people that has caused him so much anguish and pain and agony. Kabuto has decided to help him. Kabuto feared that Naruto might die out there. However, it was a better outcome than remaining in this village. And he also feared that Orochimaru might try to dissect his one and only friend in this world, to try to see if anything might help him gain something on Minato. So Kabuto did not inform the Sannin about this. He did not. However, when the news broke about Naruto and his increase in strength, Kabuto had to dig deep. He almost got caught, but he was an expert. So yes, he got away with the information. He had to involve his master now because Naruto has become a large asset that could help them in their war against Konoha. And given his many talks with Naruto, he was confident in where Naruto stands. A lot has changed since the last time we saw each other. We should catch up, said Naruto. Yes, we should. But before that, I never told you who I was a spy for. And I never asked, said Naruto. Yes, because that did not concern you. Our friendship did not involve anything beyond that. We were just friends. Exactly, said Naruto. But now I'm afraid that you have to know who it is. I've also informed my leader about you as well. And he has a vested interest in you because the both of you actually desire the same thing. Is that so? Said Naruto. Yes, it is, a voice said, as the both of them turned. Hikari glanced towards the man as he stepped through the hall, making his way. It is wonderful to finally meet you, Naruto Namikaze. Naruto blinked when the man stepped into the light, and he instantly knew who it was. Orochimaru. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see next parts and do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and obliterate that red subscribe button and become a part of the Making family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Don't forget to turn on the bell notification and see exactly when I post, because I do post a hell of a lot. And don't forget to stay tuned for the rest of what is coming your way. I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. But for now, I'm out guys. See you guys soon. Peace.